Welcome to Commander Pop Culture, a place to gather magical information, with some laughs might I add. Hello everyone, playing Pantlaza, my flicker deck. Make some decisions here. I don't have a mana rock, so I'm gonna let that one go. And now I don't have any mana, so we're gonna let that one go. I have one land and a Birds of Paradise, but I can follow up with Sakura Tri-Builder, so we're gonna keep a one lander, or put the most expensive thing on the bottom of my deck. Against a Atla, an Arwen, and a Toshiro. Toshiro is a mono black spellslinger deck. Arwen is a +1/+1 counter theme deck. Atla is a creature toolbox and cheating big stuff into play kind of stuff. My deck, I call it Mud Flaps because Pantlaza cares about the toughness of a dinosaur that comes into play. So he or she, I'm not sure what the gender is, comes into play, has 4 toughness, hence I discover for 4. And the goal of the deck is to flicker himself and just dig out all the pieces I need to win the game. It's a bit of a slower strategy. I'm going to be trying to find things like Ghostly Prison to stave off a lot of aggro, because in casual tables that seems to be a very popular thing. And then just dirtle and do my thing until I get the W. The main line that this deck wins by is finding Kiki-Jiki and one of my flicker targets, like Restoration Angel. It has to be specifically the flicker target that comes into play immediately, otherwise it doesn't work. There's not a lot of those. There's only 3 white creatures that do it, and they all cost 4 mana, and then I'm also running Cursed Mirror for my 4th, but Cursed Mirror only works if I'm going for my second route of winning, which is I have like an Impact Tremors card in play, and I have 2 of those flicker cards in play, and I just flicker each other over and over again until everyone dies. But yeah, this is like a farm deck, but not in the colors that typically farm, which is blue and black, and it feels a lot like my slot machine deck. I play a Dimir Kraken for my Korea that mills everybody 4. You get to animate something of even cost and put into play under your control. I've been liking that deck a lot, and this has the same kind of feel because you kind of want bonus spins on your slot machine. And if I hit a flicker card with the Discover trigger, and depending on RNG, I get to do it again.
Let's go to the bonus now.
And that's why it feels like a slot machine. If you are a gambling man and you like dopamine hits, these kind of decks are super fun to play. I'm not a big gambling guy, but I understand the fun in RNG. And in this particular art, there seems to be feathers in rather close proximity to what I imagine keeps yourself very hygienic. I'm just gonna say that. Get my Steve down. Hopefully I find another land and I can play Pantlaza on turn 3. That'd be pretty wild, especially after keeping a 1-land hand. Toshiro is a commander I've always wanted to build, but I never got around to trying because Magic keeps just pumping out so much stuff that I don't think people really know what Toshiro does. So whenever a creature and opponent dies, they get to cast target instant from their graveyard, and it's for free, and should that be cast again, gets exiled. What we got over here is a makeshift munitions, so enables him to cheat stuff into play more consistently, because he, for 1 mana, sacks an artifact or a creature. The egg that he produces dies, he gets there. He doesn't have to wait for a block a creature. It just makes his deck a lot more consistent. And then he put some Rune Stalactite in his deck because it gives the creature it's equipped to Changeling. So if he were to equip that to a non-egg creature, it counts as an egg, triggers Atla. Gyre Sage can get a little bit bigger. Evolve cares about power and toughness. Arwen has 2 power, hence Gyre Sage gets a little bit bigger. I play Okina Temple of the Grandfathers because it could pump up his Arwen to be a little bit bigger, and he gets more value because his stuff comes in with counters equal to her toughness. Right now it's at 1. Obviously if he activates the land, it's 2. I'm sure he's got all kinds of other ways to make Arwen bigger, and thus his every subsequent play afterwards a lot bigger. He'll have a lot of access to mana. This is a budget deck. Every card is $5 or less. Last time I looked was a couple of days ago when I built this deck. This was $133. Well, I did find a land, so that kind of is a bummer. I got a Grasp of Fate. I got a lot of plains representation, and I kind of don't want to use my Grasp of Fate quite yet. The player on the right still hasn't played anything, so I kind of want to wait to get maximum value with this thing. Cauldron of Souls is pretty annoying. He can give his whole board persist. I can play my commander this turn. Unfortunately, I blundered on the Sakura Tri-Builder because I could have gotten 2 ETB triggers on this turn had I sacked my Sakura more properly. So don't make the same mistake as I do. Maybe playing a long time, but even I still screw stuff up. And there's no point in getting angry. Magic's just a game. No one's gonna think less of you. And this is just a casual game. I have nothing to prove. Black player still hasn't played anything yet. Obviously if they're playing Spellslinger stuff and playing a ton of instants, they have no reason to play anything main phase 1. That's probably what's going on here is, hey, Molten Echoes, that's awesome. Even though they're $5 or less, they're very functional and very powerful cards. Like, I wouldn't play them if they weren't. They're just more affordable to everybody. Shock Leader's good. Gets the cantrip off pretty much all of his creatures, I'm sure, because he might be able to just make them all big enough to trigger it. I'd rather get rid of that than his Arwen. Messing with card advantage engines are way more important than messing with a commander. Cabal Coffers and Urborg setup. They have access to a lot of mana. I was going to play something like my Teleportation Circle, but Trumpeting Carnosaur is so good. Like, it doubles Molten Echoes triggers. I'll trigger Pantlaza, so I'll actually discover 5 twice and discover 4 once. I really am kicking myself about this Gale Powder, because if I had it in play by now, I would have seen so many sweet triggers by this point. So I'm missing out on 3 triggers, and every time I don't play my Gale Powder, it just gets worse. Because it has subbakes like this. It's a bummer. You know what? I'm going to play it safe. I'm just going to play my aggressive fakes that I probably need to. Take the responsible play. I have no green permanents in hand, so get that out of the way. I guess now I'll have my Justicar's portal up to interact with folks. Do I want to take away the sack outlet? Yeah, I guess we'll just pass. I don't win by combat damage. I don't exactly care that Atla is making eggs. I care if he's able to get rid of the egg, and that's why I made my decision over hitting the Lightning Greaves instead. Luca. -4 does X damage divided among any number of target planeswalkers or creatures. X is the greatest power they have. Planeswalkers are actually really good in that deck. I never considered that because, like, people don't want to attack and give you free creatures, so your planeswalkers just get unharassed. Another thing that affects permanents coming into play with counters, keep the mana up for anything terrible. Well, I'll get something this turn. I just don't want to give up any tempo and value, so this Gale Powder is going to be, like, on the back burner indefinitely. It looks like, unfortunately. At some point, this mono black player has to, like, not be okay with what I'm doing. I don't know when that's going to happen. I can try and force him to use it. I'll swing his way. Since I'm going to flicker it anyways, I might as well. Everyone else has got a useful blocker at their disposal. Trying to snuff my creature out. Pretty sure he's got a full grip of interaction. We're going to trade 2 for 2 at the minimal. Oh, okay. He didn't have it, which surprises me. Blade of Cells, hell yeah. I'll get a Molten Echoes trigger, make another one, get another free thing. End step, flicker again. Nice. Ephemerate.
Let's go to the bonus now.
Get to do it again. Bonus spin, baby. Come on. Who doesn't like bonus spins? Oh, hell yeah. We're just gonna keep this going.
Let's go to the bonus now.
Alright, I got one of my combo pieces. Ah, yes, this feels good. I basically cheated 8 mana worth of spells into play. Sure, let's draw some cards. Ooh, a Braid. We're gonna take away this artifact. We still haven't gotten to my end step where I get to do this and maybe do it again. Very exciting turn. Hell yeah, we like Showdown of Scalds. More card advantage. I'm showing you what the deck does, everybody, on a $33 budget. See what we get. If I'm not on people's radar, sure as hell I am now. Topiary Stomper, Wood Elves, and 2 lands. Okay. Slip on the ring to do it again. Bonus spin.
Let's go to the bonus now.
I've had a lot of bonus spins this round. By the way, when I do go to the casino with my wife, it's like we play with $20 each, and we are the most obnoxious gamblers, I'm sure, in the casino, because we pick the loudest and, like, fun machine. We just sit there making quarter bets and sing along or just have a blast. I'm pretty sure people are pretty annoyed by this. Now every time I flicker my creature, I get to draw a card. Of course. Flicker Fate, do it again.
Let's go to the bonus now.
The RNG smiles upon us. I don't care what the order that this stuff happens in. I might break the game, actually, with how many triggers I'm putting on the stack. Path to Exile. Let's get rid of this obnoxious 7/5. We don't like that here. Yeah. Goodbye. Of course I want to use the ability. Let's get rid of the Gyre Sage. And thus, the sweet single slot machine pull ends. The dopamine has come to a close. I got a lot of cards to get rid of. Well, since The Gale Powder is on the back burner. I imagine Gilrain is also on the back burner. I guess I'll give up the Wall Blossoms since I have plenty of card advantage going on right now. The Garruk's Uprising is like too good in this deck. And I like having these cards because they're just more flexible. When you see 11 cards, you get to sculpt the best hand possible. I've shot up past everybody in terms of card advantage. Man, I was at 53 minutes before the turn started. I ate about a little over 5 minutes of clock there, just doing all that in response to his removal and on my end step. Damn. Found a Skull Clam. That's pretty good in his deck. Now, when he cheats stuff into plays, he also gets to draw 2 cards. And I'm kind of worried about this Lightning Greaves because whatever he puts into play, I'm sure it's going to be scary. And will be coming my way. Seedborn Muse is good. World Spineworm. It's a death trigger? Nope. You didn't see the line. Attacking with a 15-15. Just farming for cards. Seer Safety is great. People can't attack me. Still in the board wipe plan though. Imagine he takes away my Molten Echoes or my Teleportation Circle. No, he wants a Sack Outlet. It's pretty good. He does have mana to make an egg and do the thing. Oh my god. Does this get shuffled or put on the bottom? I have a feeling that this World Spineworm is one of very few creatures in his deck and his strategy is just looping it over and over again. Just so he could get a bunch of 5/5 tokens and increase the power on his board. Yeah, he puts it back in his deck, and I have a feeling this Atla is going to find it again, and maybe his Seedborn is like, and the World Spine are the only 2 creatures in his deck. Yeah, okay.
I've come to bargain.
Unfortunately, he could respond to my Winds Abandon and save his World Spine, and then he'll just do this all again. My Seer Safety is looking a lot better though. I'm like 90% certain Seedborn and World Spine are the only 2 creatures in his deck. And if you break up the World Spine some way, this deck doesn't function. I don't have it in play or a way to deal with it yet. Pretty cool deck. It's probably getting a board wipe. I don't think it changes much, but the right thing for him to tutor right now is something that exiles graveyards. Doing a board wipe is just a band-aid, because sure, we'll deal with the Seedborn, but he'll just make 15 power. Tutored Professor Onyx. Does he have Chain of Smog? Yeah. He targets himself, he gets infinite copies, and we all die. Good thing we have our friend Atla Palani here. The mono black player clearly tutored for one of those 2 pieces to try and win the game, but wasn't aware of makeshift munitions. And he just made himself discard 2 cards.
Missed it by that much.
It's a big oof. I'm about to ramp the left player a lot with my Winds of Abandon. They have a ton of creatures in play. They are not going to have any mana problems after I cast that. Maybe it's better that I don't do it. Maybe I just go for Seer Safety instead. I can make it incredibly expensive for him to attack me. Make him pay 7 to hit me with anything. It'll buy me a lot of time. And I'll wait for someone else to do the board wipe shenanigans. I'll make my Pantlaza bigger. If he wants to blow up my dinosaur now, he can, but I'll make him work for it. Maybe I have a false sense of security here. He could totally draw into some kind of action that blows that up. Oh, he's let me flicker this. Thought he would take that from me. Hid removal, but not the kind I was expecting. Get a Plains? I don't know. I'm worried about yielding to these triggers, because if I click on them and I need to interact with them at a certain point, they'll be permanent, so I have to just suck it up. I wouldn't be surprised if he could kill us all on this coming turn. If he wants to hit me with that World Spine, it'll pretty much cost him all the mana at his disposal. Yes, tap things down main phase 1. Oh god. Yeah, that's pretty good. When all you do is make a bunch of 5/5 tokens. You're gonna draw a ton of cards, I'm sure. Oh, okay. That will do it. Jeez. This guy's deck's pretty cool. You won't be able to kill us all, but you can kill majority of us. Alpha Strike, kill us. Ah!
Not today.
The right player had Darkness. Damage is prevented for everybody, not just for him. I haven't seen a Darkness save in eons. That is awesome. The middle player left. Okay. He's like, too many stupid shenanigans for me. I'm getting out of here. I imagine the right player is just looking for a board wipe. If he does get one and play one, I get to hold on to this Winds Abandon for just a little bit longer. He's just getting a regular board wipe. I guess he has Sensei's Top. You get around it that way. Wow. Deluge for 15. That's a big number. Yeah, do the thing. Pretty brutal. He can shoot 8 times. Oh, he's animating the World Spineworm with the shuffle trigger on the stack, I think. That is hilarious. I love this player on the right, it's inevitable. There's no point, even though it goes back to the other player's graveyard. Teferi's Protection. I'm surprised he did this now. Why didn't he do it earlier? The right player disconnected. They ain't coming back. It's a long shot for me as well. Like, I can't deal damage to him. I would need a very specific sequence. I would need to be able to find another Resto Angel, and I would need my Kiki Jiki. Yeah, there's just too many pieces. And when I go to activate all this stuff on his turn, he could just shoot my stuff. Yeah, it's probably game over. Like, I could spin my wheels and try and do this, but I don't think it matters. Just because of the things he has on board. And what's the point of wasting anybody's time when I know I'm going to lose anyways? And I already showed you what this deck can do, so I'll give him the GGs. That was fun. So that was the game, folks. Teferi's Protection 2 OP. A little outside my budget, so I can't play it in this deck. Some things to talk about. He had to have that Teferi's Protection there. The player on the right had to have that Darkness. A lot of like things had to go right for everybody, and the left player just came out on top, and that's what I call a good game of Magic. Feel the worst for the middle player. They kind of got messed with a lot that game, and I basically showed you most of the deck. I could have drug it out and went for Ballgate Recovery and got back my Sphere Safety, but he had so much card advantage at his disposal. He had so much things to shoot my stuff off. Like, I just didn't see the point in doing all of that. I had a great time playing this deck, and I hope people watching had a great time seeing what it could do. I just couldn't find my setup before the left player did his thing. And that's all I got for you. Everyone have a good night.